Guide to optimizing your website with Entrepreneur Press and McGraw-Hill out in the bookstores now. I am excited that you're here. Well, hello, folks. Coming at you here. This is Friday Footage. We're going to be demonstrating some very cool things here today. And in fact, what you're watching on the screen here, let me just open that up for you all. By the way, we're going live on YouTube as well today at the same time. Can you believe it? And it's pretty cool because this is StreamYard. And love the enhancement, guys. Keep on going with that. But today, we're going to be talking about how to win the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, BFCM e-commerce game. And we're going to talk about Klaviyo or Klaviyo flows. And in a moment, you will know what that is. And in fact, if you're coming in here watching live, you'll actually see some screens moving around. I'm going to cover this here in a moment. But hey, let's set the stage here for a moment. So, depending on the traffic source, right? Whatever you're using, organic or paid media. And of course, here we talk a lot about Facebook ads at the agency out there on chaosmap.com. We do a lot of that stuff, right? Originally, about 10 years ago, we started with SEO and paid media. We did a lot of SEO. I've written 3 books for Entrepreneur, as you saw. And so we love SEO, but there is tremendous power in combining all these strategies, as you know. And that doesn't mean that one is better than the other. But there's no doubt that if you want speed to market and you want to test your content, your keywords, your pages, your products, your services, ramp it up with paid ads, right? Google ads, Google search, right? Very powerful. Understatement of the year. Facebook ads, of course, essential. An incredible engine for hyper targeting as well, which is going to be essential no matter what you do. As you've heard me talk about here many times, make sure that your message resonates with that targeted audience, and to help improve your sales and messaging, right? Well, this season coming up, November here, starting, you want to make sure that you measure and track your metrics, right? So your KPIs, we talk about this all the time. Key performance indicators. What are they to you? What are your goals? What are your levels? But what you see a lot of, and especially in forums that we traverse a lot, is, hey, let me show you my incredible ROAS screens, right? So return on ad spend. And while that's not to be underestimated, it's also just been too much of a focus to showcase, what that person might be able to do. So it's sort of a promotional, thing that doesn't show the full picture, right? So the ultimate metric is really just looking at how do you provide sales and trigger points during the entire customer journey. But that also means that you look at things like your lifetime customer value, right? CLTV, customer lifetime value. Average order value, AOV, right? How can you expand on that, right? High ticket bundling, for instance, can be a great way to really leverage those things especially for those who are selling, lower sort of result items, right? AOVs and CPA optimization, right? So essentially, what do you pay for each lead as it comes in? Cost per acquisition, right? Now, there's other metrics here that I'm not going to talk about, which is your cost per your customer acquisition costs, right? CAC. That's going to also be a really important. Your CFO will want to know, hey, if I'm spending this much, how much am I getting back when everything is said and done, right? So here today, though, what I'm going to talk about is, you understand that all these online operational items and all these metrics are going to be important, and we create dashboards for those so that it's easily, consumed, but also easily understood, that for this season, for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you will want to make sure that you sell all along the way, which also means that you don't just look at these top line metrics, but you go all the way in that customer journey, as mentioned. And so there's some great ways to do this. And of course, it's very much a highly used and suggested strategy is to use retargeting, right? So for people who have watched a certain portion of a video or engaged with something at some level, you're able to retarget those. You can retarget folks who have initiated checkout, add to cart, etc. There's many variables, but we're not talking about that today. I'm excited to just share this with you, which is Klaviyo or Klaviyo email intelligence using smart flows. And that's what you're seeing on here right now. And you may be familiar with this. Well, obviously, if you're a Klaviyo user, you are. But if not, then you will hopefully have used some kind of intelligence with your email based on input that uses sequences, right? So it's a sequencing, a sequencing series of steps using email to nurture that relationship and move them forward in your know, like, and trust sort of building, right? And that way you can easily sell things to them later downstream, right? Well, similar concept here. However, this is where Klaviyo takes this to the next level, especially with a Shopify integration, where you can actually set trigger points based on events that happen in the cart. And what we're looking at here, and again, there's more than just the cart, right? But we're looking at the abandoned cart flow. So think about this for a moment, right? You are able to, handle this through advertising, as I mentioned, through retargeting. But here you actually literally come in and capture the cart as it sits at that moment and share that back out based on settings, right? And I'm sort of trivializing the words settings here because it's also based on behavior, right? So this is the ultimate behavioral system for email marketing. And the intelligence around this, I mean, Klaviyo's done a phenomenal job in really developing this. So let's take a quick look here. Let's dive in. What we're looking at here is an example. This is actually something that we pulled from Klaviyo help documentation. But you can see here when the trigger starts here, it's at the top when somebody actually checks out, right? You can do, split tests and all kinds of really cool things here. But if you want to just keep it basic, all you need to do is drag these little flow items out into the sequencing diagram as you see it here. So you can specify if you want to wait an hour, 4 hours. Hey, it looks like you left something behind. That right there, abandoned cart email, the first one that goes out. So somebody adds to their cart, didn't do anything else, didn't see the retargeting ad or whatever, but they got an email an hour later that says, hey, it looks like you left something behind. Well, how powerful that is. Just, that's a home run for me here. Because essentially, and assuming that you have the, a good email account and that it doesn't go to the promo tab, etc., right, for Gmail, that they actually see it. Well, all the analytics around this, open rate, click rates, the tracking, if they placed an order from that, we talk a lot about attribution, right? Well, all of this can be tracked inside here. And you can then continue on, as you see here. You can wait a day. That's another sort of trigger point. And then, hey, another email goes out that says your cart is about to expire. Do you want that? Probably not. Well, click here to get it. You can add incentives like, setting up a coupon that's a unique, expiration-based coupon from that email that actually sends that right over to Shopify in this example, right? And it has all the items in the cart saved for you. So that session is just simply available, right? This makes it so simple and so powerful for enhancing your revenue and your sales for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and in general, right? So, during the year, of course, this is just going to keep running. But then for this upcoming season, e-comm season, you can do customizations using Klaviyo at a level you probably have never seen before. And this is where most business owners that don't, well, if you're not aware of it, that's one thing. But if you don't recognize the power of this and implement it, you're going to leave potentially a lot of money on the table, right? So wasted. Plus, of course, ultimately here, if we look at the entire customer journey again, we want to be able to then track all the sales, not just from the Facebook ads directly, but what was attributed to, Google if you're running that, Facebook if you're running that, Klaviyo here if you're using that, which is highly recommended. Then you're going to have a very nice picture and a very nice, ROI essentially, which is a return on investment, which, everybody wants the return on investment, right? Not just return on ad spend, but ultimately the ROI. And so I just wanted to come on here today and break this out for you and show you the power of this. That's what I like to do on these Friday footage shows. And if you have any questions on this, most definitely go out to chaosmap.com and we can help you set this up and get it going. And we also, of course, can help you take a review of your e-commerce system as it sits today. We actually have reviews available for that as well. It's sort of what we call a mini audit, and happy to do that as well. And hey, full disclosure, it might be a way that we could work together as well. So, but that's not the primary here. We want to just show you this stuff. And so get this implemented and think about not just your ROAS, but your entire customer journey here and your ultimate tracking of this. By the way, just a side note, I have a previous show here. Forget the actual episode right now, but if you want to get a complete picture of all of this in a very nice dashboard, then of course you want to talk to Scott over at wickedreports.com so that you can understand, what attributed to the actual sale through the customer journey. Now, there's a lot of moving parts here I've covered today. I love this stuff. And hey, I appreciate you being on here today. And if you're coming in on Media and Marketing Podcast, thank you as well for your reviews, your feedback, and you're sharing this out to the marketplace. And if you're here live with me and also on YouTube, hey, thanks once again. I always love coming at you. It's been a little more sporadic here. We're doing some new things. We're building up the e-commerce site as well with more of this email backend. So it's a service that we're actually now providing. But man, it's a lot of exciting elements coming up here. A lot of work here for the Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Hope that is true for you as well, that you can get these implemented also, and that you're having a great day, evening, or night. All right. Well, thank you all, and I'll see you next week.
Hi, my name is Jan Ragnrud. I'm the author of The Ultimate Guide to Optimizing Your Website with Entrepreneur Press and McGraw-Hill, out in the bookstores now. I am excited that you're here.